Everybody, welcome back to Breakfast with Bob from Challenge Miami. My name is Bob Babbitt, and we're brought to you by Challenge North America, City Bikes, Veneto, Challenge Athletes Foundation, Florida Dairy Farmers, and Wahoo, our next guest. Oh, I don't know, 5-time Ironman champion, 12-time 70.3 champion, 4-time Wildflower champion, Escape from Alcatraz champion. I can go on all day long. Heather Jackson joins us. How you doing?
Good. Thanks for having me on, Bob.
It's always a pleasure. And this course, I don't know, when people were coming in yesterday talking about, oh my God, it's not like Daytona at all. It's windy on the backside. The road is chopped up. And I'm like, this is going to be good for Heather. This is a bike handler's type of course. What'd you think? Did you get to ride it?
Yeah, I made it out this morning to ride it, so
yes.
That was good. Glad we made it out just to see it for sure. I mean, it's definitely not Daytona. We just went in circles.
I know.
This one, there's a couple corners. I wouldn't say it's technical. I mean, but I do think it changes race dynamics. So
it's not just power meter and head down.
Yeah, you can't just put your head down,
No.
stay aerodynamically down and race.
You think it's going to be harder for people to get away?
Yeah, I do. I just think it'll keep bottlenecking. There's the one corner where everyone's going to be sitting up, braking, making the corner. So even if someone has a gap there, they're going to have to slow into that.
Right.
Someone might be able to catch on. I mean, I don't know that someone would get away. I don't know if someone is off the front from maybe the swim that they can stay away in a pack. So
it's funny because a lot of these races, the swim matters. Mm-hmm. But when I looked at the weather out there at the swim with the victory at sea out there, it's choppy, right? The swim is going to be a factor.
Yeah, it was super choppy. I was like, oh, great, here we go. 1 p.m. start, the wind is howling out there.
Yes.
I would comment more on the wind than I would say the technical course. I mean,
right. The wind, it's 15 to 25 miles an hour every day, every afternoon. Yeah. And you guys are starting right in the teeth of it.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see how that affects it.
Yeah, but
sure.
I mean, the number one thing for you is Kona. And obviously Collins Cup in August.
Kona's the main goal this year for sure. So all eyes on October 9th. And this is kind of the first. It's funny because it's like I feel like this race has been elevated. It's like everyone's so excited for the opportunity to race. I usually around this time will do, say, like Desert Classic Try and out in Palm Springs.
Right,
so it's like a tune-up for Oceanside. So for me, it's always fun. Like you get out, see people, get a race in to practice try. And so, I mean, this is, kickoff for the season. I've been really, amped on training right now, remotivated, and have had a good 10 weeks. So this is, it's fun.
Well, and you're in the middle of a build with, you got Ryan Bolton and all the campers, right? You got Sam Long down there, and you've got Carolyn Rotich, Boston Marathon champion, and Ben Hoffman. Mm-hmm. Has that been fun?
Yeah, I mean, I think when you have a good group that's all training together, everyone just elevates each other. So it just, it's like extra level of motivation and inspiration every day. I mean, every day at the pool, we have an even bigger group beyond Ryan's athletes at the pool every morning. And then some of those have also started joining us for some of the bikes and runs. Sam Long got to town last week, who is just a ball of energy. So Waddy and I climbed Mount Lemon with him last week. Yeah. And then, he's been at the pool, obviously. And then, some of Ryan's other athletes, a couple of shorter course girls, Chelsea Burns and Joe Brown, have been, like, coming out with me on some of my longer runs, which has been awesome. Since Paul and Eric jetted back up to Bend. So, it's just a really good group. It's crazy the amount of people in Tucson right now. Tucson, I think, fluctuates.
It became like the Mecca.
Yeah. So it's been awesome. I mean, everyone's just super positive and in a good spot, I think.
Yeah, and the fun part, too, is when you get to train with people from different disciplines. Carolyn Rotich, Sam Long was like, I was in front of Carolyn. She sat behind me throughout a 20-mile run. It was like the coolest thing ever, right? That's got to be fun.
No, exactly, yeah. The opportunity, world-class marathoner. I mean, for Sam, that, I haven't gotten the opportunity this year to run with her, but I think once we get back from this race, so.
The thing about what a lot of people have learned from Caroline is really what recovery is all about, right? It's a different game when you talk to the Kenyan athletes, because I think American athletes like, okay, I'm recovering, I'm going to go grocery shopping, I'm going to go and work on my bike, and Carolyn's laying on the ground or on her bed for basically sleeps 12 hours, sleeps another 2 or 3 in the middle of the day. You're like, wait, she's comatose for 15 hours a day. But that's real recovery.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, so you learn, besides learning the training aspect, it's the recovery aspect, which maybe some of us aren't that good at.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I think, well, I've never lived with Sam, so I don't know how he's recovering, but I can see him maybe not being as comatose, so maybe he can.
Yeah, exactly. Now, you're wearing this awesome shirt, and you are part of the Vespa Triathlon Team, which I love it when we get new sponsors from outside the sport into our sport. Pretty exciting?
Oh my gosh, it was literally like the most amazing kind of email call we got from Crowy last year. It was just like full honor. I mean, Crowy's always been a big supporter of mine, and I'm super grateful for that. And he reached out to Waddy, and we were just like, oh my God, like this, it's such an honor, such an opportunity. And yeah, to be included on this new Vespa Triathlon team is
very fun.
Very exciting.
Yeah, so I know that they want, when I was talking to the Vespa guys, they're like, ask Heather what her goals are for 2021.
I mean, my main goal is Kona. It has been the last 5 years, and especially having had to miss it last year, I've been focused on it.
Right.
Since we've had to miss it. So.
Exactly. And the thing you're most excited about in terms of the Vespa team?
Besides an amazing scooter to use to get around. Yeah. I mean, I think just being on this new team, that it's literally some of the best athletes across all disciplines, which is super cool. I think we have a very strong contingent of females, which is really, just an honor to be a part of. I mean, from Flora, Lucy, Sarah, I mean, and then obviously the men's side is just as
Rudy,
strong. But
I think it's really
I think it's super exciting. I think we're going to do a lot of fun things, and just have that team aspect within a sport that's individual is also cool, especially for me coming from team sports.
Right, yeah, exactly. And it's Felipe and it's Crowy. And like you said, Crowy's been a big supporter, and obviously you don't have the history with Felipe that you have with Crowy, but talk a little bit about the fact that they're investing in this sport.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's super cool. It's an outside sponsor that's never been kind of in this sport, and I think it really does connect with a lot of triathletes, and to bring attention to that, I think a lot of people are going to be like, why didn't I have one of these before? I personally, when we were like, he had asked us if we had ever driven a scooter before. I'm like, I don't understand why we didn't have one before now.
Yes.
Because it's
you're motor pacing,
good to get to and from the pool, to and from the grocery store, especially in Tucson where it's always warm and hot out. And I'm not in the snow, obviously. It's like popping down to Trader Joe's and back is like
the coolest thing in the world.
So
and I'm guessing yours is going to get decorated a little bit.
We'll see if we can do a custom.
You keep this thing away from Waddy. That would be really hard.
Waddy's going to be motor pacing me.
Well, so you know it's going to be decorated. I love that. So when with Ironman, and that's all the way in October, but who knows what's going to happen before that? And obviously, there's other races that you would like to do, Challenge Roth, the Collins Cup in August. Do you try to gear up your season going, we might be jammed in having multiple races in August, September, October? How do you figure out what makes the most sense for you?
Yeah, I know, especially being someone that loves to race.
Yes.
But for me, again, it's just Kona is the goal, and how we can get there most effectively.
Yes.
And for me, it's more about, just training physically. I know what to do. I can always, I'm working constantly to be even faster. But for me, really right now is this mental side of things. And for me, I think having a good Ironman distance race, since I haven't raced since Ironman Arizona 2019, the goal is Ironman Tulsa right now, and going in there, having literally 20 weeks, which is from the start of this year till Tulsa, which is May 23rd, focused on
all that,
like I will be doing for Kona, like 20 week. Kona's 20 weeks after Tulsa, so it's just everything I'm doing is practice and leading into that race. And for me, going to Tulsa and having a good swim, a solid bike, and then also just the run that I've been working on massively with Ryan. So
it's funny, I was talking to Ben Hoffman a little earlier, and he was saying, because when Ben first started with Ryan was telling me it's not going to happen right away, and you could see it coming, and then all of a sudden, boom, sub 240, and finishing great in Kona again, and 2 phenomenal runs.
Yeah.
And Ben said, you watch Heather this year.
Hoff's the fastest Ironman marathoner there is.
Right.
And
Ryan's
Ryan's
a big
training,
part of that.
so.
Right. Yeah. Did that lead to this? Because it has gotten to the point where you have to close, right, with really, really good runs.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
And I'm good friends with Hoff, and I find him and I are very similar mentally, and also how we go about our training and our races. And I just thought, I want to do what he's doing, because I see how it makes him confident in what he's doing, because he sees how it works. And it did take him that time for it to click. And for me, it's been, 12, 13 months now of doing it, and it clicked, like you're talking about. And it's tough because people are like, oh, how'd you change your training, or what did you do? And there's really I can't say this is what we changed.
Stay the course.
It's been 13 months of running 60, 70, 80 miles a week for over a year now, and 20-mile runs every weekend.
Right.
Nothing crazy about that.
No.
But literally, when you do that every weekend, it becomes just another run. So
every great marathoner, it's consistency, right? And
exactly.
It's funny. I remember years ago, there was Frank Shorter won the gold medal in the marathon, and you see a lot of guys go in and they blow up. And he said, if you look at it, I think Ironman's the same way. The people who come closest to what they normally do are the ones who are going to medal at the Olympics, and I quantify that with Ironman as well. You do what you do, right? You don't try to be super person. You go out there and you do the run that 20 mile that you do every weekend. You're going to add 6, and and come out of the energy lab and go, okay, now I got my 10K to seal the deal.
Right, exactly. And he's progressing to like the end of runs. So now at the end of 20 mile runs, I'm doing like sub 6 minute miles.
Right.
And it's not.
It's. Yeah.
I would be, on the ground. Just like
but it's become who you are. That's part of what your makeup now. And
it pushes you to be like, this is what I can do. You think you can't going into it, and every weekend you prove something new to yourself.
Exactly.
So
love it. I can't wait to see the fruits of the labor here, because it's going to be awesome. It really is.
Bob.
Heather, always a pleasure.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Heather Jackson has been our guest again. Breakfast with Bob, Challenge Miami. Hold on, everybody. We will be right back.